baby, I like it raw. Raw Advantage likes it raw. Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Hey!
Guess what, everyone? This is Chris Kendall from the rawadvantage.com. Really happy to connect with you guys here today. I have a topic I've been talking about for well over a year on my channel, saying I'm going to put out a video, and I've been a little bit hesitant because I want to learn a little bit more, put together all the pieces I really want to present here. So what is it? Chemtrails. That's the slang term of geoengineering, weather modification programs related to cloud seeding as well. I'm not here to convince you that they exist. Instead, what I want to do is share some information so you can do your own research. You can watch some documentaries that have really impacted me and thousands of others, and make your own decisions. And from there, what I really want to do with this video is provide three things. One thing, political means to be empowered to do something, to stand up for what you believe in and what you feel is right and what we as a species and as a planet, respecting nature and everything around us, deserve. Two, on an emotional level, what you can do so this doesn't overrun you and fill you with fear and anger, which so many people it does. And then three, what you can physically do. Some things you can do maybe in the kitchen or otherwise to help yourself out. So let's get right into it. I don't want to make this a crazy long video. I want to keep it short and concise and just help empower you, because this is a topic that can really, make you feel like I can't do anything about it, it's too wide. This is a global scale issue. This is all over the place, and I dare say this is one of the biggest issues facing us as a species and as a planet today. So let's jump into it. So there's chemtrails and contrails. Contrails are natural activity that happens behind jets and airliners when they're at a certain altitude that creates some condensation, crystal formation when it's really cold up there, that has a little bit of a smoke trail behind the plane. Now this quickly dissipates, whereas a chemtrail is made up from chemicals or particulates that are placed in the upper atmosphere for a different purpose, and that they actually stay there. So when you look up and you see a trail that can go across the whole sky and stays for hours and hours and slowly dissipates, sometimes you see them all over. I've seen zigzags and backs and forths and criss-and-cross all over the place. These are known as chemtrails, or a part of a geoengineering program. Now there's an amazing documentary called What in the World Are They Spraying? I'm going to have a link right here. You can see the video right here. And there's everything I'm going to talk about. There's links below, and there will be a lot more on my website as well. So check it all out. I really encourage you to, and to share this video itself and all this information. What in the World Are They Spraying really goes into the difference between contrails and chemtrails. Talks to scientists from all different fields, soil analysts, organic farmers, politicians, concerned citizens, celebrities, people who have learned about this. This has been going on for well over 10 years. I've had my nose in it for well over 10 years as well. They go into some meetings where there's some scientists from NASA who are talking about geoengineering. And they talk about this as a project that they haven't started, but they're going to do as a last-ditch effort to reverse global warming. And what they said is that they want to spray particulate matter, specifically aluminum, for its high refractal rate, to reduce the amount of solar radiation that comes in and stays on the earth. So, they admit freely in this video, they're showing this in What in the World Are They Spraying, that they have no idea. They say they don't know the possible effects. Well, we see Alzheimer's going up, we see autism going up, we see respiratory ailments going up, we see soil pH going up, going alkaline. These are not good things for our health, for the health of the plants, for the animals, for the waterways, for the air, for everyone. So that documentary is awesome. The next one is Why in the World Are They Spraying? And that's where they actually get into it a lot more. They look at the political game and the medical cartel and a whole bunch of other avenues why maybe they're doing it. And they talk about how the soil pH is changing because of these heavy metals going into all the soils, and it's going up, so becoming more and more alkaline. And what they're finding is that Monsanto has patents on grains and different food products that only grow in high aluminum soil. He who controls the food supply controls everything. This was said by world leaders in the past and those who wanted to keep control or to get control. I think it's a world agenda and something that we should all be aware of and come into our own empowerment, because we are the people, we are the numbers. If we bring up the consciousness, if we bring up the awareness and stand up for our rights, for the things that we need, not push against what we don't want, but stand up for what we do need, proactively creating change, I think that's what's going to make the hugest difference. So that video is awesome. Another link right here is actually, they're going over it in the UN. They're talking about how this is something that needs to be addressed, and they're talking about it as geoengineering and chemtrails as one of the biggest threats to us as a species ever. And again, that's at the United Nations. So the next one is called Look Up, Operation Paul Revere. So check that out here. Hopefully you've been clicking on all these and they'll open in different windows so you can watch them afterwards. Look up Operation Paul Revere. It's an amazing video as well, and it gives more of the political means of how to bring about change here. It goes into all the aspects. If you're only going to watch one, if you're only going to share one, and again, I encourage you to share this with everyone, even the people you don't think will want to hear it, because it's talking to experts from many different fields and has data that is incontrovertible. It's a shut case as far as I'm concerned. There's a lot of evidence, there's a lot of people behind this. There's been an agenda in the media to keep this information hushed, to keep it down, but it's time that it's let out. It's time that everyone knows, and that we can do these things I'm going to share in the rest of this video that can help you become really empowered and proactive in making a change. Alright, so now that I've armed you with a bunch of documentaries and stuff to get you started to check out more about chemtrails, geoengineering, cloud seeding, weather modification programs, hopefully you've learned a little bit about that already, and if not, seriously check those links out. They're really eye-opening, and do your own research. Now, let's start with the first of the three things I really wanted to talk about. On a political scale, what we can do to be empowered and to make a big change, to have an impact on what's going on. I want to tell a quick story. I do want to say, I was out in Costa Rica. I go there every single year. I do retreats at thefarmalife.com. Got another one coming up next year. Shameless plug in this, I'm sorry. But anyways, every time I went out there the first few years, I was just in awe of how pristine the nature is, and the water quality and the air quality. I'd never seen a chemtrail. 2 years ago I come there and I get off the plane and I look and I see chemtrails, and I almost had tears in my eyes. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is the first place I've been where I'd never seen them. And I've seen them in heardable and reported everywhere else pretty much in the world. So I asked a friend who really had an ear to the ground, and what he said was about a week ago, as a country, Costa Rica banned Monsanto, said, no, we don't want Monsanto in here at all. And within 2 days after that, the skies were blanketed in chemtrails. So, to me that speaks volumes. I'm not making any claims or judgments and saying this is directly connected, but I mean, the evidence is there. They say the proof is in the pudding. But let's get into this now. Apologies, I could speak forever about this, but I want to keep this concise. So the first thing is political. Now, the creator of that movie, Look Up Operation Paul Revere, created an app that's available across all platforms. It's called the Skyder Alert app, and you can grab it right here, and otherwise check on your app store and get it. It's totally free. This is a really revolutionary app. Everyone should have it. We should spread it out. It's really cool. You sign an agreement, and I'd go through it all. It's all really good, legit stuff. It doesn't talk about chemtrails, more it talks about geoengineering and our unalienable rights to have fresh air, fresh water, to know what's going on in our area and where we are. And what it does is, when you see a chemtrail in the sky, you take a picture with the app and it automatically geotags it, so it says where you are, what time it is, and then with that data, it automatically acclimates the public servants and the politicians and the media in your area, gives you the phone numbers, and automatically emails them saying, your rights as a citizen, with a whole write-up all about geoengineering and your main concerns, which are a general overview. Again, you can go over it yourself. And it sends them the picture, as well as it automatically sends the picture over to the databases for Skyder Alert. So it has a large database, and no matter where you are, so if you're traveling and you're going around, you have this app, you click a picture and it goes to the local government and the local media in that area. And again, it gives you the numbers and email, so if you want, you can directly email them again and tell them other stuff. So this is a huge political tool. This is really a way to show in numbers that we see what's going on, that is being recorded, that we don't appreciate it, that we really have a need for fresh air, fresh water, and also to be informed, to know what's going on. If something at this scale is going on, we really deserve to know about it and assess the risks as a people, not just be told, oh, we're doing this for your own good after the fact when there's other hidden agendas. So Anyways, that's number 1, Skyder Alert. I really recommend getting it. Again, you can get it right there. And check out that video, look up, share it with everyone. Alright, now number 2, the emotional body, and this deals more with ourselves than, you know, what we can do politically or outwardly. You know, this is one that some people may think is just woo-woo or is just too much, but for me it makes a huge difference. And when I've talked with countless others about this, you know, I see a lot of fear, I see a lot of anger, I see a lot of sadness, and that depresses your immune system. People might be asking, why are you doing this post? Well, you know, I think it has a huge impact on our personal health. You know, it has a huge impact on our personal health and the health of the planet. And stress is a huge factor in our well-being. So if this information just stresses you out, makes you pissed off, and makes you want to, like, you know, attack and be angry and swear and curse and do whatever to those who are responsible, that's not really helping us. And in my honest opinion, it keeps those people who are doing these things in that mode of fear for themselves that they need more, and will keep them in that exact attitude. Instead of being a victim, you know, we can easily play the victim and be like, oh, I'm too small, I can't do anything. Well, no, you have that political means. And then on an emotional, personal level, we can choose to be empowered. We can choose to see this as a huge blessing. I really see everything that happens in this world and in this life as perfect in its time and place. I'm going to do an entire video on that in the future, but I do all see it as perfect, giving us the opportunity to experience and choose who we want to be. Choose what we want to create. Choose what we stand up for. I see this as a huge opportunity for all of us to come together, to share again what we believe we deserve, you know, the qualities of nature that are really our duty to preserve, and really to come together. So, you know, I like to look at the story of Darth Vader. I know it's kind of a silly comparison maybe, but I actually don't think so. Darth was, you know, supposed to bring balance to the Force. They're all angry at him, and he does all this crazy stuff and goes to the dark side, and all of a sudden the dark side is growing and growing, and they're like, maybe we were wrong about him. But when love touched his heart, when he had that heart connection with Luke, his son, all of a sudden he just switched, and he threw the Emperor over, and then he did bring balance to the Force. You know, and again, this is a science fiction example, but I really do think on an energetic level, on an emotional level, if we can find compassion in our hearts and give love to those who feel a lack and are acting from that lack or from that need to control, that need to be, you know, in power and to have all the money and all the resources, I personally think that at the very least, it's going to do better for us, and at the best, it's going to help to sway their hearts, help to open their eyes, and help, if not them, their children to be impacted and make a different decision. Because those in power have all the patents, you know, those in power have all the avenues and opportunities to completely change everything by releasing the information around clean energy and other ways to bring about more lasting peace and better management of our resources. So again, no matter what you believe, the more at ease you can be with this, the more you can come to see this as an opportunity to come through with love, to share from your heart what you feel you deserve and what the planet and the animals and all of us deserve, you know, to be made known what's going on and to have access to clean air and clean water. This is becoming less and less the reality. Our oceans and waterways and air are becoming polluted, and all these different diseases that are being created are popping up and getting more and more intense. So anyways, that's that on that level, and I hope that brings you a little bit of ease. Now lastly, on the physical level, what you can do, and this is a big one. You know, if you don't really know me, I'm a registered holistic nutritionist and a raw food lifestyle coach. Obviously, eating as light and as healthful and low toxic load as you possibly can is going to bring about the best effects you can just diet-wise in order to detoxify yourself and become as clean and clear and vital as you possibly can. You know, if you're burdened and bunged up already, your body's not going to be able to deal with the extra that comes in. There's certain things like vitamin C, which is actually pretty beneficial for heavy metal detoxification, as well as things like cilantro, you know, which are common. You know, I'm actually just stepping into a protocol. I'm going to do an entire video series on it, so I'm not going to get super in depth into it right now, but I'm looking into with a dentist by the name of Dr. McClure, who is a detoxification specialist, and he really focuses on heavy metal detox. I've also been collaborating with Dr. Rick Dina from rawfoodeducation.com. He's been helping me out with getting hair sample kits. I've been doing urine samples and blood samples to find out my heavy metal levels in my body right now as a baseline. And over the next 6 months and year, I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of tests that I'm paying for myself in order to determine if the protocols really do work for heavy metal detoxification. Now, I really want to let you know that I'm a hygienist at heart. I believe in natural, pure eating, the raw food diet, and that the body does everything it needs by itself. You don't need to influence it through stimulation or anything like that. Now, in an ideal world, I believe that is 100% perfect and it'll keep us in perfect homeostasis. Although, with these things going on, with pollution from cars that's going to produce a lot of heavy metals in our body, and toxemia from the chemtrails that are going on, which is heavy metals. It's known as aluminum and barium and a whole bunch of other heavy metals. Fillings in our teeth, mercury, amalgam, I can't ever say that word, but silver fillings that contain mercury in them. These things are really toxic, and vaccines and all these things that contain heavy metals, our level of heavy metals is going up, and it's incredibly harmful to our nervous system, to our immune function, to a vast array of functions within our body. And anything we can do to get it out, I think, is really beneficial. That's why I'm doing these tests. That's why I'm looking at certain products such as chlorella as a really potent heavy metal detoxifier, at least the most potent heavy metal detoxifier that's also a whole food. And that's why I'm looking at chlorella as one of the main tools I'm going to use over these next 6 to 12 plus months to do lab work and see if it's as efficient as a lot of other studies and a lot of evidence shows in my own personal experience. So there's a protocol by Dr. McClure that I'm going to be following for the next while. I'm actually I'm going to be talking and fine-tuning a little bit. I'll have the link for the PDF below so you can find out a lot more. It's called Dosing with Chlorella and Cilantro for Neurotoxin Elimination. And it's a full-on program. It's got a lot of information there. It utilizes the cilantro and the chlorella mostly, but there are other protocols. That's really what I'm going to be getting into, and again, I'm going to get more into that. So first, for physical, clean up your diet. Eat as simple as possible. Eat organic fruits and vegetables. Check out my free links below to my books. 3 of the books are free if you just sign up to my mailing list here. And otherwise, really look into this protocol. Look into heavy metal elimination, and again, I'm going to go more on that. I'm going to do a recipe here for you as well, showing a way to get this protocol into your body in a tasty way. I hope you really enjoy the recipes. Much love. Alright guys, so we're in the kitchen here at home, and you're lucky because you're getting 2 recipes. I'm pretty hungry right now. I took my chlorella about 45 minutes, an hour ago, which if you read the PDF, which I'd really recommend you read the PDF. You learn a little bit about the procedure or the protocol, and instead of just haphazardly doing it. So I took the chlorella by itself with some water, to let it get into my system and clear some stuff out, get it ready, and then I dose it with the cilantro so that it comes through. They actually recommend that you do the chlorella on its own for a few weeks before you even start bringing in the cilantro, just so that it's not too overwhelming with the detox. Now, we're going to get into this lunch recipe. I also want to point out that chlorella, there's many different brands, there's many different kinds, there's different qualities. Some of them actually have high levels of heavy metals in them, especially if they're from China. Even they've said some of the stuff that's organic can have higher heavy metals than some of the non-organic stuff. So I would recommend doing some research there. Again, I'm not going to get crazy into the protocol. I just want to give you some of these recipes. Check that out yourself. In my next video, I'm going to go a lot more into it. There's about 3 brands that I found that looked really good. The one that I'm using right now is Health Ranger Select Clean Chlorella Powder. It's one of the cleanest ones, the lowest residues of heavy metals possible, and if you're trying to detox heavy metals, that's very important. So let's jump right into this. This recipe here is really simple. Again, I'm pretty darn hungry, so I have a pound of medjool dates. I pitted them. If they're already pitted, they've been steamed, so you don't want to really avoid that. Get the better quality ones. Put that in there. And then I got a whole bunch of cilantro. Now, you're going to want to make sure you get all your stuff organic. During the whole protocol, if you're heavy metal detoxing, you're going to want to try and get the cleanest, best quality produce you possibly can. No sense in putting in stuff that could have residues on it. So I'm just going to tear that up, put that in there. And then I'm going to fill it with water. So I'm just going to fill it with water so it's covering at least maybe a little bit extra. This will be a big lunch. This actually will be around 1,300–1,400 calories for me, which is pretty darn perfect. You may in fact want to reduce this to about half of a pound, depending on where you are with your raw food diet or what you're doing. This makes a really good substitute for a coffee or anything like that too, if you're trying to get off of that, which could be beneficial. And we have the beautiful Vitamix blender. It is wonderful, shameless plug, but I absolutely love this. This has changed my life. I've only had 3 in the last 13 years, and they're still going at my sister's house and at my brother's house. So this is my parents' mom, thanks. But it is the best, and you can actually pick up the Vitamix below. Seriously, it'll change your life. So I'll start low, blend it up. I'm gonna blend really good and creamy, super nice. Now it could be stated too that the reason I picked this recipe too is that apparently vitamin C lessens the ability of the cilantro and the chlorella to bind the heavy metals and pull them out of your system. So dates, you know, since they're a dried food, they have no vitamin C. The next recipe will have a little bit, but it's low, considering also that cilantro has a little bit itself. Now, this is a nice big one for me. Super awesome. The reason why there's the divide from the chlorella and then the cilantro later, it's a good chelator and mobilizer, but it doesn't actually carry it out of your system as efficiently as cilantro does. So adding cilantro after, it gets to secrete a lot of bile, and that helps carry the heavy metals actually out of your feces. So that's why there's that procedure, and again, check that out more. Now, I'm gonna get into the next recipe for you, and that one's actually on my app. It's just a little bit updated. If you want a whole bunch of recipes, they're super simple, of course. Check down here. You can get my ebooks by donation, and if you have an iPhone or an iPad, then you can get this app. So there we go. So here's the raw advantage recipes. Boom. And what we have here, we have Presto sun-dried tomato pesto. So for the Presto sun-dried tomato pesto, there's gonna be one little modification from the recipe that you're seeing right now, is replacing the spinach and the basil with 2 bunches of cilantro. That's it. Otherwise, it's the same recipe. It's really delicious. This could be a good dinner recipe for you. You just go through the same procedure. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope you love the recipes. I hope you found this entire post really enlightening and inspiring and empowering. Like, share, comment below. Let me know what you think. You know, this is one of those posts that I think that everyone should know about, that we really need to raise the awareness of if we want to have a cleaner, healthier future for ourselves and for people coming after us, you know, the future generations. So with much love, this is Chris Kendall out from therawadvantage.com.
Chemtrails. Getting powered, sucker. Check out these 2 super popular videos and click below to get your 3 free ebooks, including a recipe big excerpt and a full recipe book.
Excited to announce my new iPhone app, free with 101 frickin' awesome recipes, Terry retreat treats, food combining charts, shopping carts, and more.